The vast emptiness of space stretched out before the Zarkonian scout ship. Its pilot, Krex, yawned, his four eyes blinking in sequence. Another boring patrol in the Sol system, home to those primitive humans the Galactic Council barely noticed. Krex's tentacles moved lazily over the controls, guiding the ship towards the asteroid belt. He expected nothing but rocks and ice. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Krex jolted awake, all four eyes wide open. "What in the name of the seven moons?" he muttered. The ship's sensors were going crazy. They detected massive energy signatures hidden among the asteroids. Krex zoomed in, his jaw dropping at the sight. There, concealed by advanced cloaking technology, was a massive shipyard. But not just any shipyard. Sleek, powerful vessels unlike anything Krex had ever seen were under construction. Their designs were elegant yet intimidating, bristling with weapons that made the scout's ship look like a toy. "Impossible," Krex whispered. These ships bore the unmistakable mark of human engineering, but they were centuries beyond what the Galactic Council thought humans capable of. And there, on the hull of the largest vessel, were the letters FTL 117. Krex's heart raced. FTL. Faster than light. The humans had cracked the code that even the most advanced council races were still struggling with. With shaking tentacles, he activated the ship's quantum communicator, sending an urgent message to Galactic Council headquarters. Light years away, in the grand chambers of the Galactic Council on planet Centaur Prime, representatives from 100 alien races were engaged in their usual bickering. The Valaxians were arguing with the Drell over trading rights, while the Aetherian delegation was fast asleep, their ethereal forms flickering gently. High Counselor Xyra of the Illyrians called for order, her bioluminescent skin flashing in annoyance. "Esteemed colleagues, please, we have more pressing matters to." She was cut off by a sudden commotion at the entrance. A junior aide rushed in, his exoskeleton clicking nervously as all eyes turned to him. "High Counselor, urgent message from Scout Ship Zeta 9 in the Sol system." Ira frowned. The Sol system. What could possibly be urgent about that backwater? Nevertheless, she gestured for the message to be played. The holographic display in the center of the chamber flickered to life, showing the panicked face of Krex. His message was brief but earth-shattering. "Council, the humans, they have FTL capabilities. Massive fleet, advanced weapons, hidden in asteroid belt." The chamber erupted into chaos. The Valaxians screeched in disbelief, the Drell's exoskeletons turned pale, and even the Aetherians snapped awake, their forms solidifying in shock. "Impossible," shouted Grok, the Taurian representative, his bull-like features contorted in rage. "Those primitives were barely able to reach their own moon last we checked." Kexira raised all four of her arms, calling for silence. "Verify this information immediately. I want our best stealth ships in the Sol system now." As the Council scrambled to respond, news of the human fleet spread like wildfire through the galaxy. On countless worlds, aliens looked to the sky with newfound fear and respect for the species they had long ignored. Back on Earth, in a hidden underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Elena Rodriguez stood before a wall of screens. Each displayed a different part of the secret shipyards in the asteroid belt. A small smile played on her lips as she watched the final touches being applied to humanity's crowning achievement. The FTL Dreadnought, humanity's hope. A young lieutenant burst into the room, out of breath. "General, our deep space sensors have detected. We've been discovered." Rodriguez's smile didn't waver. If anything, it grew wider. "Right on schedule, Lieutenant," informed the President. "It's time for Phase 2. The lieutenant hesitated. "But General, the Galactic Council, they'll be furious. We've violated dozens of treaties they thought we didn't even know about." Rodriguez turned to face the young officer, her eyes glinting with a mix of determination and amusement. "Treaties we never signed, Lieutenant. Treaties made by races who saw us as little more than smart monkeys. Well, these monkeys have been busy. She gestured to a particular screen, showing a massive hangar. Inside, rows upon rows of sleek fighters stood ready, their pilots, the best Earth had to offer, standing at attention. For centuries, we've been watching, learning, every alien ship that passed through our system, thinking we couldn't detect them. We studied them. Every transmission they thought was beyond our ability to intercept. We decoded them. They gave us the keys to the stars, thinking we were too primitive to use them. The lieutenant's eyes widened as understanding dawned. You mean, all this time? Rodriguez nodded. Operation Silent Leap. While they watched our clumsy rockets and thought us harmless, we took their knowledge and surpassed it. Our FTL drives are more efficient, our weapons more powerful, and our resolve unmatched. Alarms began to blare throughout the facility. On the screens, they could see the first wave of Galactic Council ships entering the Sol system, sleek and dangerous, but utterly unprepared for what awaited them. And now, Lieutenant, Rodriguez said, her voice filled with the weight of history, now we show the galaxy that humanity will not be ignored. We will not be stepped on. We will take our place among the stars, not as supplicants, but as equals. No, as leaders. She pressed a button, and throughout the asteroid belt, massive hangar doors began to open. The pride of Earth's fleet, hidden for so long, began to move into formation. On billions of screens across Earth, the emergency broadcast system activated. President Kira Chen's face appeared, calm and resolute. My fellow humans, she began, today, we step out of the shadows and into the light of a new galactic age. An age where humanity stands tall. As Chen's historic speech continued, the first shots of a war that would reshape the galaxy were about to be fired. Humanity, long underestimated, was ready to show the stars what they were truly capable of. In the depths of space, as Galactic Council ships approached, the comm channel suddenly crackled to life. A message, broadcast on all frequencies, in perfect galactic standard. This is Admiral Jack Harper of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are entering protected space. To avoid conflict, turn back now. If you proceed, may your gods have mercy on you, because we will not. The battle for humanity's future was about to begin. Diplomatic tensions. The grand halls of the United Nations building in New York City buzzed with nervous energy. For the first time in history, it wasn't just Earth's leaders gathering here. Today, the UN was hosting representatives from the Galactic Council. President Kira Chen stood at the window, her face a mask of calm despite the storm raging inside her. Outside, protesters and supporters alike filled the streets. Some carried signs welcoming the aliens, others demanded they leave Earth alone. Madam President, a voice called. Chen turned to see her aide, Tom, looking anxious. They're here. Chen nodded, straightening her jacket. Showtime, she muttered. The doors swung open, and a procession of alien delegates entered. Leading them was High Counselor Xyra of the Illyrians, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with barely contained anger. President Chen, Xyra said, her voice translator giving her words a metallic edge. You have much to answer for. Chen smiled, extending her hand. Welcome to Earth, High Counselor. We have much to discuss. Xyra ignored the outstretched hand. Discuss. You've violated numerous galactic laws. Your secret fleet. Laws we never agreed to. Chen interrupted smoothly. Please, let's sit. This might take a while. As they took their seats around the large, circular table, Chen couldn't help but notice how the alien delegates looked down on the human representatives. Old habits, she thought, die hard. Let's cut to the chase. Grok, the Taurian representative, snorted. How did you primitives develop FTL technology? Who helped you? Chen's eyes narrowed. Primitives. Is that how you see us, Ambassador Grok? Perhaps that's why we kept our advancements secret. As for who helped us, You did. A murmur ran through the alien delegation. Hira leaned forward. Explain. Chen nodded to her aide, who activated a holographic display in the center of the table. It showed various alien ships passing through the Sol system over the centuries. For hundreds of years, you've been flying through our system, thinking we couldn't detect you. But we did. Every ship, every transmission, we studied them all. You gave us the roadmap to the stars, thinking we were too primitive to follow it. The alien delegates shifted uncomfortably. Zyra's bioluminescence flickered rapidly, a sign of distress in her species. That's unprecedented, she stammered. No species has ever learned so much while being underestimated. Chen finished for her. Perhaps it's time to reevaluate your views on primitive species. Grok slammed his fist on the table. This is outrageous. You've been spying on us for centuries. Observing, Chen corrected calmly. Just as you've been observing us. The difference is, we learned from what we saw. Another alien, a serpentine creature named Solar, spoke up. Regardless of how you acquired this technology, the fact remains that your fleet poses a significant threat to galactic stability. We demand that you dismantle it immediately. Chen's smile faded. I'm afraid that's not possible. Ambassador Solar, our fleet is our guarantee of independence in a galaxy that, until now, didn't even consider us worth talking to. We will not disarm. The room erupted into shouts and arguments. Alien delegates yelled about treaties and galactic law, while human representatives fired back about sovereignty and self-determination. Zyra raised all four of her arms, calling for silence. President Chen, surely you must see that this situation cannot stand. The balance of power has shifted, Chen finished. Yes, it has. And isn't it time? For too long, the Galactic Council has made decisions that affect all species, while ignoring the potential of those you deem primitive. That ends today. She stood, her presence commanding the room despite being physically smaller than many of the aliens. Earth is willing to join the galactic community, but as equals, not as subjects. We'll share our advancements in FTL technology, collaborate on scientific endeavors, engage in fair trade. But we will not be dictated to, and we will not disarm. The alien delegates huddled together, whispering furiously in their native tongues. Finally, Zyra turned back to Chen. Your terms are unprecedented. We'll need time to consult with the full council. Chen nodded. Of course. We'll resume discussions tomorrow. In the meantime, please enjoy the hospitality of our primitive world. As the aliens filed out, Chen's aide approached her. Madam President, do you think they'll agree? Chen's face was grim. Some will. Others, Tom, contact General Rodriguez. Tell her to be ready. I fear not everyone will be willing to accept a new reality. Light years away, aboard the Galactic Council's flagship, a secret meeting was taking place. Grok, Solar, and several other hardline council members huddled around a holographic display. The humans cannot be allowed to keep this technology, Grok growled. They're too unpredictable, too dangerous. Solar nodded, his forked tongue flicking out nervously. Agreed. But what can we do? A direct confrontation would be disastrous, especially if their fleet is as advanced as they claim. A new voice joined the conversation. Perhaps a more subtle approach is needed. The newcomer stepped into the light, revealing the insectoid features of Zix, the hive queen of the Vex Collective. What do you suggest, Queen Zix? Solar asked. Zix's mandibles clicked in what passed for a smile in her species. The humans are divided. Not all of them support their government's actions. We could exploit these divisions, create chaos from within. Grok's eyes lit up. Sabotage their fleet from the inside. Precisely, Zix chittered. And I have just the operatives for the job. Shapeshifters, capable of passing as human. The group leaned in, their voices dropping to whispers as they plotted. None of them noticed the small, spider-like drone clinging to the ceiling, its camera capturing every word. Back on Earth, in her secure bunker, General Rodriguez watched the footage transmitted by the spy drone. Her face was grim as she picked up a secure phone. "Madam President, we have a problem. The hardliners are planning something. I think it's time to activate Project Sentinel." On the other end, President Chen sighed heavily. "I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. Do it, General, and may God have mercy on us all." As Rodriguez hung up, she turned to a console and entered a complex series of codes. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, long-dormant machinery hummed to life. The next phase of humanity's plan was about to begin, whether the galaxy was ready or not. The first strike. The tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the HSS Defiant, Earth's most advanced warship. Her eyes were fixed on the holographic display showing the Tau Ceti system, home to humanity's first extrasolar colony. "Status report," Chen barked, her voice steady despite the pressure. Lieutenant Rodriguez, her tactical officer, responded quickly. "Multiple hyperspace signatures detected, Admiral. It's the Coalition fleet. They're here." Chen nodded grimly. The Coalition, a group of militant races from the Galactic Council, had made their move, just as Earth's intelligence had predicted. "All ships, battle stations," Chen ordered. "Activate the veil." Across the human fleet, a ripple of energy spread as advanced cloaking technology engaged. To the approaching Coalition forces, it would appear as if they were attacking the helpless colony. Little did they know, they were flying into a trap. Aboard the Coalition flagship, General Krovac of the Draconians smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. His scaled hand tightened around the armrest of his command chair. "Look at them," he growled. "No defenses, no fleet. These humans are even more pathetic than we thought." His second-in-command, a towering insectoid named Zix, clicked her mandibles nervously. "General, our intelligence suggested the humans had advanced ships. Should we not be cautious?" Krovac laughed, a harsh sound that made several bridge officers flinch. "Intelligence? Bah! Look with your own eyes, Zix. This will be over before it begins." He leaned forward, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. "All ships, commence attack. Show these primitives the price of defying the Galactic Council." Back on the Defiant, Admiral Chen watched as the Coalition fleet moved into attack formation. Her face remained impassive, but inside, her heart raced. "Admiral," Lieutenant Rodriguez called out. "They're launching fighters and bombers, approaching the colony's main city." Chen took a deep breath. This was it, the moment that would decide the fate of humanity. "Execute Operation Phantasm," she ordered. Across the human fleet, hidden emitters activated. Suddenly, the space around Tau Ceti's main planet shimmered. Holographic projections sprang to life. Burning buildings, panicked civilians, scenes of devastation. To the Coalition forces, it looked like their attack was succeeding beyond their wildest dreams. General Krovac laughed as he watched the destruction unfold on his view screen. "You see, Zix, these humans fall like insects before us." Zix, however, was frowning. Something felt off. "General, our bombers report no resistance, not even basic planetary defenses." Krovac waved a dismissive hand. "Of course not. These primitives probably thought their secrecy would protect them. They were wrong." Suddenly, alarms blared across the Coalition fleet. Zix's compound eyes widened in shock. "General, multiple energy signatures appearing all around us." Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Deactivate the veil. All ships, attack pattern Omega. Let's show them what humanity can really do." In an instant, the human fleet shimmered into view, surrounding the Coalition forces. The HSS Defiant led the charge, its advanced weapons blazing to life. Coalition ships, caught completely off guard, scrambled to respond. But they were out of position, their fighters and bombers too far away to help. "Target their command ship," Chen ordered. Let's cut the head off this snake. The Defiant's main cannon, a marvel of human engineering, powered up. A beam of energy, more concentrated than anything the Coalition had ever seen, lanced out. It struck Krovak's flagship dead center. On the Coalition command ship, chaos reigned. Consoles exploded, fires broke out, and the hull groaned under the strain. Impossible. Krovak roared, clinging to his chair as the ship shuddered. How can they have such power? Zix, always the more practical one, was already moving towards the escape pods. We must retreat, General. We've been outmaneuvered. But it was too late. Another blast from the Defiant ripped through the flagship's core. The last thing General Krovak saw was a blinding light as his ship exploded around him. The battle, if it could even be called that, was over in minutes. Coalition ships, leaderless and overwhelmed, either surrendered or fled. On the Defiant's bridge, a cheer went up, but Admiral Chen quickly silenced it with a raised hand. This was just the beginning, she said, her voice carrying across the suddenly quiet bridge. They'll be back, and in greater numbers. But today, we've shown the galaxy that humanity is not to be trifled with. She turned to her communications officer. Send word to Earth. Tell them, the Tau City colony is safe, and humanity has won its first galactic battle. As the message was sent, Chen allowed herself a moment of reflection. The holographic display now showed the aftermath of the battle, destroyed Coalition ships drifting in space, while the human fleet stood strong and barely scratched. What now, Admiral? Lieutenant Rodriguez asked. Chen's eyes hardened with determination. Now we prepare. The Coalition will spread word of their defeat. Some will seek peace. Others. She paused, looking at the stars visible through the Defiant's view screen. Others will want revenge, and we'll be ready for them. Light years away on Earth, President Kira Chen received the news of the victory. But her celebration was short-lived. A secure communication from General Rodriguez, still on Mars, demanded her immediate attention. Madam President, Rodriguez's hologram said, her face grim. Project Sentinel is fully operational. And we've detected something. Something big, heading towards the Sol system. President Chen felt a chill run down her spine. The Coalition counterattack. Rodriguez shook her head. No, ma'am. This is something else. Something ancient. And it's waking up. As the implications sank in, President Chen realized that humanity's greatest challenge was yet to come. The battle for Tau City was just the opening move in a game that had been playing out for millennia. And now, ready or not, humanity was a major player. Galactic upheaval. The news of humanity's decisive victory at Tau City spread through the galaxy like wildfire. On countless worlds, in the halls of power and in humble homes alike, the impossible truth was debated. The humans, long dismissed as primitives, had defeated a Coalition fleet with ease. In the grand chamber of the Galactic Council on Xanthor Prime, the atmosphere was tense. Representatives from 100 species argued loudly, their voices a cacophony of different languages, all translated in real time. High Counselor Xyra of the Illurians raised all four of her arms, calling for order. Silence. Her amplified voice boomed. The chamber quieted, all eyes turning to her. We face a crisis unlike any in our history, Xyra began. The humans have proven themselves far more advanced and dangerous than we ever imagined. We must decide how to respond. Grok, the Taurian representative, snorted angrily. Respond. We must crush them before they become too powerful. They've already destroyed some of our best ships. A murmur of agreement rippled through the chamber, but it was cut short by an unexpected voice. And how many more ships will we lose in such a pointless war? The speaker was Zix, the only survivor from the Coalition's disastrous attack. Her insectoid features were barely healed, still bearing the scars of her narrow escape. Zix stepped into the center of the chamber, her compound eyes reflecting the shocked faces around her. I was there, she said, her voice quiet but carrying clearly in the hushed room. "I saw what the humans can do. Their technology, their tactics, they're beyond anything we have. So you suggest we surrender?" Grok bellowed, his bull-like features contorted in rage. Zix's antennae twitched in annoyance. "I suggest we learn. Adapt. The humans didn't just beat us. They outthought us. Maybe it's time we stopped underestimating species we consider primitive." As the council erupted into fresh arguments, a junior aide rushed in, looking panicked. He whispered urgently to Xyra, whose bioluminescent skin pulsed with shock. "Silence." Xyra called again. When the room quieted, she continued, her voice grave. "We've just received a message. From Earth." The holographic display in the center of the chamber flickered to life, showing the face of President Kira Chen. Her expression was calm, but her eyes held a steely determination that made many council members shift uncomfortably. "Greetings, Galactic Council," Chen began. "I speak to you today not as a supplicant, but as an equal. The recent conflict has proven that humanity can no longer be ignored or dismissed." She paused, letting her words sink in. "But we do not seek war. We seek partnership, cooperation. A chance to join the galactic community as full members, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails." Murmurs filled the chamber. Chen continued, "We are prepared to share our advancements, including our FTL technology. In return, we ask for a seat on the council and a commitment to treat all species, no matter their level of development, with respect." As Chen's image faded, the council chamber exploded into chaos. Some representatives shouted for war, others for immediate acceptance of the human terms. Alliances that had stood for centuries began to fracture as different species saw opportunities or threats in this new galactic order. Xyra, struggling to maintain order, didn't notice Zix slipping out of the chamber. In a quiet corridor, Zix activated a hidden communicator. "It's done," she chittered softly. "The council is in disarray, just as you predicted." A human voice responded. "Excellent work, Agent Zix. Return to Earth for debriefing. Operation Trojan Horse is a success." As Zix ended the communication, she allowed herself a small moment of satisfaction. The humans had not just outfought the coalition, they had outmaneuvered the entire Galactic Council. And she, Zix, had played a crucial role in their plan. Back on Earth, in the underground command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Elena Rodriguez watched the live feed from the Galactic Council with a grim smile. "It's working," she said to President Chen, who stood beside her. "The council is falling apart just as we planned." Chen nodded, her face serious. "And the other matter?" Rodriguez's expression darkened. She pressed a button, and the display changed to show a massive object moving through deep space. It was clearly artificial, its surface covered in strange, glowing symbols. "Project Sentinel detected it 3 days ago," Rodriguez explained. "It's big, ancient, and headed straight for the Sol system. Our best guess, it's some kind of automated defense system, left behind by a long-dead civilization. The Coalition's attack must have triggered it somehow." Chen's eyes widened. "Can we stop it?" Rodriguez shook her head. "Not with our current technology." "But," she hesitated. "Go on," Chen urged. "There's a faction in the Galactic Council, led by that insectoid, Zix. They're pushing for cooperation with us. If we can get access to the combined knowledge of all council races." Chen understood immediately. "We might find a way to neutralize this threat, and in doing so, prove our value to the galactic community." She turned to her aide. "Prepare a new message for the council. Tell them we have a common enemy approaching, one that threatens not just humanity, but all sentient life in the galaxy." As the aide hurried off, Chen and Rodriguez shared a look. They had planned for many scenarios, but this was beyond anything they had imagined. "You know," Chen said softly, "when we started this, All we wanted was to ensure humanity's survival in a hostile galaxy. Rodriguez nodded. And now? Chen looked back at the display, showing both the fracturing Galactic Council and the approaching ancient threat. Now we might just end up saving everyone. As alarms began to sound, signaling the start of Earth's preparations for the coming crisis, both women knew that the real challenge was just beginning. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars. Now they had to prove they deserved it. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. And at the center of it all stood humanity, ready to face whatever the universe threw at them next. A new galactic order. The massive view screen in Earth's United Command Center showed a sight that, just months ago, would have seemed impossible. The combined fleet of human and alien ships flying in perfect formation. At the center of this armada was the HSS Defiant, humanity's flagship, commanded by the now legendary Admiral Sarah Chen. Inside the command center, President Kira Chen, no relation to the Admiral, stood with General Elena Rodriguez, watching the fleet's progress. Their faces were grim, reflecting the weight of the moment. "Status report," President Chen demanded. General Rodriguez consulted her datapad. The ancient construct is now visible to the naked eye. It's huge, Madam President. Bigger than anything we've ever encountered. The view screen shifted, showing the target of the fleet's journey. It was a massive structure, easily the size of a small moon. Its surface was covered in glowing symbols and pulsing energy lines. As they watched, parts of it began to move, reconfiguring like a giant puzzle. "Any response to our hails?" Chen asked. Rodriguez shook her head. "Nothing. It's as silent as it's been since we detected it." Chen's jaw tightened. "Then we have no choice. Give the order." Aboard the Defiant, Admiral Sarah Chen received the transmission from Earth. She took a deep breath, then turned to her diverse bridge crew, a mix of humans and aliens from across the galaxy. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen. You know why we're here. That construct threatens not just humanity, not just the former Galactic Council, but all life in our galaxy. We don't know who built it or why, but we know it's waking up, and its weapons are powering up." She paused, looking each crew member in the eye. "We are the last line of defense. Every species, every world is counting on us. It's time to show the universe what we can do when we work together. All ships, battle stations, prepare to engage." As the fleet moved into attack position, the ancient construct finally reacted. Massive energy beams lashed out, slicing through the void of space. Several ships, caught off guard, exploded in brilliant flashes. "Evasive maneuvers," Admiral Chen shouted. The Defiant rolled, narrowly avoiding a beam that would have cut it in half. Across the fleet, ships danced in a deadly ballet, returning fire with everything they had. Human plasma cannons fired alongside Illyrian quantum disruptors and Taurian mass drivers. But the construct's shields held firm. "This isn't working," Chen muttered. She opened a channel to a specific ship in the fleet. "Professor Zix, please tell me you found something." The insectoid scientist's face appeared on screen. "Perhaps, Admiral, the energy signature of the construct. It's similar to the artifacts my people discovered centuries ago. If we can transmit the right frequency." "Do it," Chen ordered. Zix's ship, a converted science vessel, moved closer to the construct. It began broadcasting a complex series of signals. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, sections of the construct's surface began to dim. "It's working," Zix exclaimed. "The construct is powering down its weapons." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "All ships, concentrate fire on the weakened sections. Let's end this." Back on Earth, President Chen and General Rodriguez watched the battle unfold with bated breath. Suddenly, Rodriguez's datapad beeped urgently. "Madam President," she said, her voice tight with concern, "we're detecting massive energy buildup within the construct. If it explodes..." Chen understood immediately. It would wipe out the entire fleet, maybe even reach Earth. She closed her eyes for a moment, then opened them with renewed determination. "Get me Admiral Chen." On the Defiant, Admiral Chen received the call from Earth. As she listened to the president's words, her face paled. "Understood," she said finally. "It's been an honor, Madam President." She turned to her crew. "All ships, retreat to minimum safe distance. The Defiant will handle this." Her second-in-command, a Drell named Kaliat, looked at her in shock. "Admiral, you can't mean." Chen's smile was sad but determined. "The Defiant is the only ship with a drive powerful enough to create a localized black hole. We can contain the explosion, save the fleet, save Earth." Understanding dawned on Kaliat's face. "It's a one-way trip." Chen nodded. "I'm ordering the crew to evacuate, but I need a pilot." Kaliat straightened, his amphibian features set in grim determination. "No, you need a helmsman, and I'm the best you've got." As the rest of the crew evacuated, Chen and Kaliat guided the Defiant towards the heart of the construct. Around them, the rest of the fleet retreated to safety. "Any last words, Kaliat?" Chen asked as they approached their target. The Drell's laugh was surprisingly light. "Just one question, Admiral. Do you think we'll be remembered?" As the construct loomed large in their view screen, energy building to catastrophic levels, Chen allowed herself one last smile. "Oh yes, my friend. They'll remember us. They'll remember us all." With that, the Defiant plunged into the heart of the construct. There was a blinding flash, a moment of impossible gravity, and then silence. In the United Command Center on Earth, tears streamed down President Chen's face as she watched the Defiant disappear. Beside her, General Rodriguez stood at attention, offering a crisp salute to the heroes who had saved them all. As reports began to come in confirming the construct's destruction and the fleet's survival, Chen wiped her eyes and straightened her shoulders. "General," she said, her voice thick with emotion but strong with purpose, "prepare a statement for the galaxy. Tell them that today we all stand as one. Human, Illyrian, Taurian, Drell, today we are all simply people of the galaxy. And together we will build a future worthy of those who sacrificed everything to give us this chance." As Chen turned to leave, Rodriguez called out, "What do we do now, Madam President?" Chen paused at the door, a small determined smile on her face. "Now, General. Now we get to work. We have a galaxy to rebuild, new friends to get to know, and a whole universe out there waiting for us. Our journey is just beginning." Outside, as news of the victory spread, people of all species poured into the streets. Humans embraced Illyrians, Taurians clinked glasses with Drell, and everywhere, a sense of unity and hope filled the air. The galaxy had faced its greatest threat, and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. As the celebrations continued, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter, beckoning to a united galactic civilization, ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold. In the end, humanity had not just claimed its place among the stars. It had helped forge a new galactic family, bound together by shared struggle and triumph. The future, vast and unknown, awaited.